Welcome to our comprehensive technical analysis of Texas Instruments, ticker symbol TXN, traded on the NASDAQ. In this video, we'll break down the latest technical indicators, price action, and trading signals for TXN, focusing on the last 3 months of market activity. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, this analysis will help you understand the current trends and potential opportunities in TXN stock. Let's begin by setting the stage with the current price and the context of our analysis period. As of January 1, 2026, TXN is trading at $173.49. This price reflects the culmination of recent market movements and sets the baseline for our technical review. Over the last 3 months, TXN has experienced notable fluctuations, and understanding this current price in relation to its historical performance is crucial for interpreting technical signals. Let's now look at the moving averages to get a sense of the prevailing trend. Short-term moving averages, such as the 5-day and 10-day SMA and EMA, are essential for identifying immediate price trends. For TXN, the 5-day SMA stands at 175.72, while the 10-day SMA is at 176.15. Both are slightly above the current price, suggesting recent downward momentum. The EMAs, which react more quickly to price changes, mirror this trend. This alignment indicates that TXN has faced short-term selling pressure. Let's see how this compares with longer-term averages. Looking at the 20-day and 30-day moving averages, we see the SMA 20 at 178.27 and SMA 30 at 173.09. The 20-day average is notably higher than the current price, while the 30-day is almost equal. This suggests that TXN has recently dipped below its medium-term trend, possibly indicating a shift in momentum. The EMAs for these periods also show similar values, reinforcing the observation of a weakening trend. Next, we'll examine the long-term averages for a broader perspective. For a long-term view, the 100-day and 200-day SMAs are at 178.1 and 181.46 respectively. Both are well above the current price, indicating that TXN is trading below its major support levels. This could be a sign of a bearish phase or a potential value opportunity, depending on other indicators. The 200-day EMA is also close at 180.99, further confirming this long-term downward bias. Let's now turn our attention to volatility and price bands. Bollinger Bands help us visualize volatility and potential price extremes. For TXN, the upper band is at 183.55, the middle at 178.27, and the lower at 173. The current price is very close to the lower band, suggesting the stock is near a potential support level and may be oversold. The band width is relatively narrow, indicating reduced volatility. This setup often precedes a breakout or reversal, so it's worth monitoring closely. The MACD, or Moving Average Convergence Divergence, is a key momentum indicator. TXN's MACD is at 1.38, with a signal line at 2.22 and a histogram of -0.839. The negative histogram and momentum values suggest bearish momentum in the short term. Additionally, the MACD momentum is -0.89, reinforcing this view. These readings indicate that sellers currently have the upper hand, but let's see what the RSI tells us about potential reversals. The Relative Strength Index, or RSI, helps identify overbought or oversold conditions. TXN's 14-day RSI is 47.56, with longer periods around 49. These values are in the neutral zone, but the RSI momentum is negative at -7.83, indicating a recent loss of strength. While not yet oversold, TXN is trending toward lower RSI levels, which could soon present a buying opportunity if the downward momentum continues. Let's check the stochastic indicators for confirmation. Stochastic oscillators provide another perspective on momentum. The 14-day stock K is at 13.2, and stock D at 21.61, both in oversold territory. The 5-day values are even lower, with stock K at 7.47. Such low readings suggest that TXN is deeply oversold in the short term, increasing the likelihood of a technical bounce. However, confirmation from other indicators is important before acting on this signal. Momentum indicators like Momentum 10 and ROC 14 help us gauge the speed and direction of price changes. For TXN, Momentum 10 is -4.07 and ROC 14 is -4.5, both negative. This confirms the recent downward pressure on the stock. The negative momentum score of -4.89 further supports this view. These readings suggest that TXN has been losing ground, but as we've seen, it's also approaching oversold levels. The average true range, ATR, and other volatility measures provide insight into market activity. TXN's ATR14 is 3.62, and the 30-day volatility is 1.67. These values indicate moderate volatility, with the true volatility at 2.09. The relatively narrow Bollinger Bands and moderate ATR suggest that while TXN is moving, it's not experiencing extreme swings. This environment can be favorable for range-bound trading strategies. Volume is a key indicator of market participation. TXN's on-balance volume, OBV, stands at 14.86 million, while the Money Flow Index, MFI14, is at 28.35, suggesting weak buying pressure. The volume ratio over 20 days is 0.548, and the relative volume is 0.444, both indicating below-average trading activity. This lack of strong volume could mean that recent price moves lack conviction, making the next breakout or reversal more significant. The average directional index, ADX, measures trend strength. TXN's ADX14 is at 15.51, which is considered weak. The ADXR14 is slightly higher at 23.62 but still not strong. This suggests that TXN is not in a strong trend, and price movements may be more susceptible to reversals or range-bound behavior. The trend strength score of 0.085 further confirms this lack of a dominant trend. Directional indicators plus DI14 and minus DI14 help us understand the balance between buying and selling pressure. For TXN, plus DI14 is 17.17 and minus DI14 is 22.12, indicating that sellers have a slight edge. The DX14 at 12.59 is also low, reinforcing the idea of a weak trend. This setup suggests that while sellers are in control, the overall conviction is not strong and the trend could shift quickly. Williams %R and the Commodity Channel Index, CCI, are useful for spotting overbought or oversold conditions. TXN's Williams %R14 is at minus 99.49, which is extremely oversold. The CCI 20 is minus 133.06, also indicating an oversold state. These readings suggest that TXN may be due for a short-term rebound, especially if other indicators start to turn positive. The ultimate oscillator at 34.59 and the Arun indicators, Arun up at 32, Arun down at 4, provide additional trend context. The low ultimate oscillator value suggests weak bullish momentum, while the Arun oscillator at minus 85.71 points to a recent loss of upward trend. These indicators reinforce the idea that TXN is currently in a consolidation or correction phase. Pivot points help traders identify key price levels. For TXN, the main pivot point is at 174.37, with resistance at 175.3 and support at 172.56. The current price is just below the pivot, suggesting a slight bearish bias. If TXN breaks below support, further downside is possible, but a move above resistance could trigger a reversal. These levels are important for short-term trading decisions. Risk management is crucial in trading. TXN's risk-reward ratio is an impressive 225.4, suggesting that the potential reward far outweighs the risk at current levels. However, this figure should be interpreted with caution, as it may be influenced by recent volatility and price swings. Always consider multiple factors before making trading decisions. Linear regression provides a statistical view of the price trend. For TXN, the slope is 0.01, indicating a very slight upward bias over the period. The predicted value is 171.77, close to the current price, and the deviation is minimal. This suggests that statistically, TXN is trading near its expected value, with no strong trend in either direction. VWAP is a popular benchmark for institutional traders. TXN's VWAP is 176.8, which is above the current price. This suggests that most recent trades have occurred at higher prices, indicating a bearish short-term sentiment. The VWAP difference percentage is minus 1.87%, reinforcing this view. Traders often use VWAP as a dynamic support or resistance level. TXN's 52-week high is 221.69, and the low is 139.95. The current price is at 41.03% of the range between these extremes, indicating that the stock is trading in the lower half of its yearly range. This positioning could attract value investors, but it also reflects the recent downward pressure on the stock. Price acceleration measures the rate of change in price movement. TXN's acceleration is 0.72, indicating a slight positive shift. The trend quality index is 47.65, which is moderate. These metrics suggest that while the overall trend is weak, there are signs of stabilization or a potential reversal if momentum improves. TXN's daily return is minus 1.1%, reflecting a recent decline. The cumulative RSI is minus 71.21, which is a significant negative value and suggests persistent selling pressure over the period. These readings reinforce the overall bearish sentiment, but also hint at a possible oversold condition if the trend continues. Money flow indicators such as the accumulation distribution (AD) and Chaikin oscillator provide insight into buying and selling activity. TXN's AD is 161.5 million, while the ADOSC and Chaikin oscillator are both negative at minus 8.06 million. This suggests that distribution is outweighing accumulation, meaning more shares are being sold than bought. The parabolic SAR (PSAR) is a popular tool for spotting trend reversals. TXN's PSAR is at 181.06, which is above the current price. This indicates that the stock remains in a bearish phase and a reversal signal has not yet been triggered. Traders often wait for the price to cross above the PSAR before considering a bullish position. Beta measures a stock's volatility relative to the market. TXN's beta 14 is 0.793, indicating lower volatility than the overall market. The 20-day correlation is 0.77, showing a strong positive relationship with the market. This means TXN tends to move in the same direction as the broader market, but with less intensity. TXN's overall technical score is 26.53, which is relatively low and signals a weak technical outlook. The momentum score, however, is higher at 61.88, suggesting that while the technicals are weak, there is still some underlying momentum that could support a rebound if conditions improve. To summarize, TXN is currently trading below most key moving averages, with several indicators pointing to oversold conditions. Momentum and volume are weak and the trend lacks strength. However, the stock is approaching key support levels and oversold signals could lead to a technical bounce if buying interest returns. Let's now look at the historical price action for further context. Over the last 3 months, TXN's price has ranged from a high near $185 to a low around $153. The stock experienced several rallies and pullbacks, with notable spikes in volume during sharp moves. This historical context helps explain the current technical setup and highlights the importance of monitoring support and resistance levels closely. In conclusion, TXN is in a technically weak position, trading below key averages and showing signs of being oversold. While the trend is not strong, the stock is near important support levels, and a reversal could occur if momentum shifts. As always, combine technical analysis with fundamental research and risk management before making any investment decisions. Thanks for watching this in-depth technical review of TXN.